Welcome, friends, to Mini Myths from Athena to Zeus by the Hellenic Museum. Here we tell the myths and legends of the ancient Greeks in the same way they would have heard them thousands of years ago, through voice and song. Now, let's dive into the story. Today, we sing the song of Zeus. Let's journey back together in time, long before the Greek gods we think of today ruled from Mount Olympus. We travel back even further to the ancient time of the 12 Titans, giant, immortal deities born from the original creators of the universe. The 12 Titans were the children of Gaia, the goddess of the earth, and Uranos, the god of the sky and the king of the gods. Uranos feared his children's powerful potential, and as they were born, he cast them down into Tartarus, the deepest part of the underworld. Gaia pleaded with her children to fight against their father and escape the underworld, but only one was brave enough to go against the god of the sky, Cronus. With Gaia's help, Cronus ambushed and attacked his father, overthrowing him and taking his place as the new king of the gods. Once he became king, Cronus took his own sister Rhea as his wife. But Uranos and Gaia had foretold that Cronus would also be overthrown by one of his children, just as he had done to his own father. Frightened, Cronus decided to take matters into his own hands to prevent the prophecy from coming true. And so, as Rhea gave birth to each of their children, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon, Cronus swallowed them whole. So he alone could remain king of the gods. Rhea was full of grief at the loss of her children. She had to do something to save them. When the time came for her to give birth to their sixth child, Rhea turned to Gaia for help. "Help me, goddess of the earth, my mother. I can't let this go on. My heart bleeds for my children. Every child of mine lives in the stomach of its father. Help me save this baby's life, the last of our brood. I believe he's destined for greatness, and I sense he could help me get my revenge." Together, Rhea and Gaia devised a plan to keep the baby safe and defeat Cronus once and for all. Following their plan, Rhea fled to Crete, and on the peak of Mount Dicte she gave birth to a boy whom she named Zeus. Rhea gave the baby boy to her mother Gaia, and the goddess of the earth took Zeus to a secret cave deep in the forest. She entrusted Zeus to two nymphs, Adrasea and Ida, telling them to hide him from Cronus until she returned. Rhea returned to Cronus. She pretended to cry as she presented him with his child, a stone wrapped in a blanket. "Another boy, Cronus. My sweet, please let me have this one to keep." But without a glance, Cronus took the bundle and swallowed the stone whole. Zeus was safe. For now. The nymphs fed the baby Zeus with honey and milk from a goat named Amalthea. And outside the cave, armoured guards clashed and clanged their spears and shields to hide the sounds of Zeus's crying. The gods grew up quickly, so it wasn't long before the baby Zeus grew tall and strong. He was now a man, and Zeus was ready to fulfill his grandparents' prophecy and become king of the gods. Zeus left Crete and visited his wise cousin Metis, the daughter of Okeanos, who always had tricks up her sleeve. Zeus told Metis of his secret plans to overthrow his father. Metis handed him a tiny bottle. "Take this poison, cousin, and use it well. Make him drink it and watch his stomach swell. He'll be sick, and perhaps with luck, your long-lost siblings might come unstuck." Zeus then left to fulfill his destiny. He went to his father's palace disguised as a cupbearer, pouring wine and drinks for the court. Zeus poured Metis's poisoned potion into his father's cup of wine. Suddenly, Cronus began to heave. First, Cronus threw up the stone that he had thought was Zeus. Next came the rest of Zeus's divine brothers and sisters in the order they were swallowed. First came Poseidon, then Hades, then Hera, Demeter and Hestia, still alive and fully grown. The siblings were finally united. The gods of Olympus had escaped, and they were ready for war. With his newfound strength, and with his powerful siblings by his side, Zeus challenged Cronus and the Titans to a great battle, known as the Titanomachy. The war was fierce, and the earth shook with the ferocity of their clashes. The Titans and the Olympians fought for 10 long years, but in the end, Zeus and his siblings emerged victorious. They banished the Titans to the darkest depths of Tartarus and claimed their place as the ruling gods of Olympus. It was decided that the three brothers, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon, would divide the world between them. They drew lots, and that is how Zeus became the god of the sky and heavens, Hades the god of the underworld, and Poseidon the god of the sea. Hestia became the goddess of the hearth and home, Demeter the goddess of agriculture and the harvest, and Hera the goddess of women. And despite having many sons, Zeus was never challenged as the supreme god of Olympus. Thank you for listening to Mini Myths from Athena to Zeus. If you like today's podcast, you can subscribe for future episodes, or share this one with friends. You can also follow the Hellenic Museum on social media or pay us a visit here in Melbourne. Tune in next week for the story of the birth of Athena. Yassas for now.
This podcast was recorded on Wurundjeri land. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. This episode was performed by Aaron James, written by Natasha Marinopoulos, with sound design and mix by Greek Media Group. The Hellenic Museum thanks you for bringing this story to life.